Yes, guys, how are we doing? Ryjack back here for another live stream. Today, we're talking about transfers, Man City transfers, of course. We have a whole lot of names to discuss. The news has been popping off the last day or so. Season's finally over, which is fantastic. All things football, how are we doing? Yes, I am live here for a little bit, maybe 20, 30 minutes or so, just to give you my take on what's going on, discuss the rumors that are going out. There are a whole lot to discuss, and I will be going live a whole lot more as I have the time and am able to, of course. Club World Cup coming up in about a month, 3 weeks or so. But before that, we're going to just get nonstop transfer rumors. I'm expecting, especially because the window does open in maybe 5 days or so. It opens June 1st officially for the teams that are participating in the Club World Cup, and it's 10 days or so. I kind of expect City to make some signings. To be honest with you, in that window or so. So I'm pretty excited. Bored with this mutant form. Base says, big up. How are you, my guy? Welcome to the stream, as always. So I'm going to open up my bookmarks tab here just so we can look at the first one I want to talk about. Lucas or Di Costa? No, Lucas Chevalier and no Diogo Costa. Not the news I'm talking about today. First, we're starting off with Club Bruges midfielder Ardon Jashari. Now, I'll be honest with you, I have never heard of this guy in my life, but Jashari, from what I can tell, apparently is fantastic. Won Player of the Season in the Belgian league. I think he's Swiss. I have his stats page pulled up right here. Leave my Jashari alone. I'm assuming you're a Bruges fan. But he's 22 years old, like I said, very young, very promising. Now, I get people are going to say it's only the Belgian league, but the Belgian league is not actually that bad, especially if you're playing for Bruges. I mean, that's a Champions League side. So, for sure, if you're winning Player of the Season and you're 22 years old, you're a talented player and worthy of getting a move to one of the major leagues. Is he good enough to play for Man City? I mean, I don't know. I'll have to do some more scouting and whatnot to see. But it lists him as a defensive midfielder type player. He got 6 GNA in 25 league games this season. No goals or assists in the Champions League. But, I mean, it is what it is. Who do you prefer if Ederson leaves? Probably Diogo Costa, to be honest. But I haven't seen a whole lot of either of those players, just at the moment at least. Belgian league has a higher coefficient than the Portuguese league. Yeah, see, like I think people think Belgian league is just the Belgian league, but it's actually not a bad league at all. And like I said, if you're winning Player of the Season in the Belgian league and you're only 22, surely you are an impressive player. If we look at his percentiles compared to the not the Big Five leagues, the next best 14. This is how he rates out, and they're good. They're very impressive. These numbers are high, and what you like to see, in my opinion. Assists 90th percentile, passes completed very high, progressive passes, which is a stat I love. Just get forward. Red Camp 67 says, what about Aït-Nouri and Cherki? Yes, they are on my list to talk about here in the next couple minutes or so. I will bring those guys up. The only problem I have with this site is when it compares them to the other 14 best leagues in the world. I'm not super familiar with any of these players here. I mean, I've heard of Jack McGlenn. I'm American. I know he's solid, but Daniel Pereira I've heard of as well, another MLS player. So it's hard for me to say how they rate and whatnot. But like I said, over here on the left, very impressive numbers. Not very high in terms of defensive stats, but I'm going to assume that is because Bruges are one of the best teams in the league and not going to be doing much defending. So naturally, those numbers will be down. Like you could even look at Rodri here, and Rodri's is maybe the best 6 in the world, and these numbers would be probably in the red because this doesn't have to do much defending at all. It's just kind of par for the course when you're a heavy possession-based team. So I'm not sure if this deal is happening or not, but it does say 35 million euros, which seems pretty cheap for a player who's 22 years old and could potentially be one of the best upcoming talents in the world. I'd be pretty happy with that. Board with this says Bruges has 60 to 70% possession in our games. UCL defensive stats are way higher for Deschamps. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. Definitely. I would agree with that. Bruges player could be a signing for a CFG team. That's also true. 35 million would be maybe a bit high in terms of CFG, but maybe we loan him to Girona, or maybe Girona just are the one purchasing him, and like the report that comes out is Man City, but it's actually CFG. So that's possible as well. Now, the next player I would like to discuss, I'm sure you guys have seen some of the news here. I'll pull it up. It is, where is it? I have so many things saved. Here it is. No. It's Ryan Aït-Nouri. That's the one we're discussing today. I'll have to find it in my saves. All right, well, we'll just pull up this page right here. Ryan Aït-Nouri. Big links with Ryan Aït-Nouri, Wolves left back. All Things Football says, speaking of Rodri, Madrid are continuing their pursuit, but they forgot about the Ballon d'Or ceremony. Yes, there was a report about Real Madrid wanting Rodri, and City said, send us Jude, but I don't know if that's true or not. I'm going to say that's probably fake news. I don't think Madrid would ever sell Jude, and City are not going to sell Rodri. It's just not going to happen. Anyway, Aït-Nouri, Wolves, left back, young, positive thing, Prem proven. We have to be buying players who are ready-made, as well as maybe some for the future, like the Jashari guy could potentially be. He's been with Wolves, I think, 3 or 4 seasons now. 37 games played in the Prem. 11 GNA from left back, super impressive for me. And if you look at his attacking stats, they are quality for a left back, in my opinion. Goals, way up. Shots, way up. Assists. All the numbers are extremely high. Not a whole lot of passes, but again, Wolves are not a team with a whole lot of possession, so that makes sense. Take-ons, extremely high, 97th percentile. That's something you like when you have that overlapping fullback. Can they attack players? And I think it would really work well with Marmoush on the left wing. He's able to cut inside, and Aït-Nouri is the overlapping type player. And maybe Marmoush doesn't play on the left wing next season, but at least to me, that makes a whole lot of sense. Madrid fans going to cry when Rodri signs his new deal, which is already done, just not announced. True, Mike, that is very true. I'm pretty confident Rodri has a deal signed, and they're just waiting for a good moment to announce that. City probably would do that as a back-off type move. Yeah, and saying, we want Jude, and they, of course, would say, no, City been looking at him before he went to Wolves. That is true. We have seen Aït-Nouri linked, I think, a couple of years ago, and nothing ever actually materialized, but this would be a different type of signing. He's obviously only on $10,000 a week, which is extremely low. City could 5x that if they wanted to. And I really like the Aït-Nouri signing, in my opinion. It allows Vardiol to move to center back more on a full-time basis, and that could create Vardiol and Diaz or Vardiol and Husinov, whatever center back pairing you want. I think Vardiol's ceiling is higher at center back than it is at left back. While right now he's an outstanding left back, he's great. Moving him to center back, I think he could easily in a couple of years become a top 3-4 center back in the world. Mike says 10x that most likely. Yeah, we could put him on 100,000 a week, and that would be no problem for us. That wouldn't do anything in terms of the wage structure. No problems there. If you look at players he's similar to, one I do like is Ian Maatsen. Very good wing back, left back for Villa. Llorente is very good for Madrid. Ryerson I like watching when I watch Dortmund. Anyone else interesting? Limer's all right. Any of the other names I'm not super familiar with. The only small issue I potentially have with Aït-Nouri is he is more of a back 5 player for Wolves, and City don't really play back five, as far as I'm aware. Maybe next season we go to a back five, but again, not something Pep has typically done. So if he's a defensive player, is he comfortable playing in a back four? I would imagine probably, because you're not asked to do a whole lot of defending if you're playing for City anyway. We're going to have 65% possession most of the time. So to me, even if he's just an average defensive fullback, he's going to be an improvement in terms of attacking. He can get down the left-hand side, cross the ball, fire it across goal, and find Haaland somehow. Because right now, the link up with Haaland and the rest of our team just seems to be majorly lacking. So I am for this Ait-Nouri signing. And I don't know if it happens. He's one of a few that it looks like we're considering. There's also Livramento, and it's not going to be like we're getting both of those guys. But Ait-Nouri, definitely the out-and-out left back that's different than what we have in the squad for sure. Now, Ryerson is a defensive fullback. Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, if he's similar to him, that's also positive news. Now, the next tweet I have to pull up here. Wrong button. Espanyol goalkeeper Joan Garcia has an agreement in principle with Man City, as well as offers from Barca, Newcastle. City continue to pursue Diogo Costa in case a move for Garcia fails, with the decision in the Spaniards' hands. Now, this is interesting to me because basically the last month, all we have seen is Diogo Costa is the number one option. This report from Xavier Pinoza. Now, maybe this is not the most reliable source. There's only 1,300 followers or so maybe take it with a grain of salt. But they say basically that Garcia is the number one option. All Things Football says can't see Newcastle letting him go. I do agree. Livermento's going to be tough to get. In my opinion, Ait-Nouri is a much easier deal. Ait-Nouri is more of an attacking fullback, hence the goals. Totally agree. He's got pretty good G&A for a fullback, and that's what fits our system. I mean, we've had attacking fullbacks that are not great defensively, like Cancelo, and they worked for quite a while. So I'm happy with the Ait-Nouri deal. Now, goalkeepers are tough because it's hard for me to scout a goalie and know if they're good or not. Basically, can you play with your feet? Can you stop shots? Like that's all that matters, really. So if Espanyol, he's got a release clause allegedly around 25 million. This is a more cost savvy move than signing Costa, who could be up to 50 million. Maybe Costa's a bit better, but as long as they are good distributors of the ball, then I think we're happy with that. All Things Football says maybe Ederson stays and Joan Garcia is the Ortega replacement. I mean, it's possible. If, however, he's Espanyol's number one, would he want to come to City and be a backup and say, wait for a year and then you'll be our number one? I don't know. I don't know how that works. He's also got links from Barcelona, and I think, as far as I know, Espanyol is in Barcelona, so maybe he grew up a Barca fan and would want to go play for them, potentially. That could happen, of course. But it basically says it's up to this guy, Joan Garcia here. Now, I do have his stats pulled up. Young, 24 years old. He's on basically no wage at all. 38 matches, 51 goals against. And I don't think Espanyol are a very good team far up in the table. So, I mean, that's basically just over a goal a game. It's not bad, in my opinion. It's not bad. Save percentage is high in the 86th percentile. Penalty kick saves is pretty high, which is good. Obviously, Ederson has saved like no pens in his life. Crosses stopped is a good sign. It shows he's an aggressive keeper, in my opinion. Let's see. Launch percentage, maybe that's not necessarily what we particularly do. We're not a launch it team. Who does he play like? According to the stats over here, Marmarshvili. Man, that's a tough one. But I do know he'll be Liverpool's number 1 or 2, depending if Alisson leaves next year. Good keeper, of course. Emi Martinez, another good keeper of the year, technically. And as far as the other ones, I have no idea who any of these other guys are. Like I said, it's a difficult one to scout a goalie when I don't watch Espanyol play. But, I mean, 6'3", he's big. Spanish, and Pep loves the Spanish player. We could see it happen. It does help us with terms of we don't have to spend so much money because we're going to be apparently buying a ton of players this summer. So 25 million on a goalie versus 50 is huge. We can buy another player like Ryan Cherky, who we need to discuss as well. The verbal agreement between Szczesny and Barca over new contract is almost done. Can't see him going to Barca unless Ter Stegen leaves. So that's a good point, Mike. I mean, if Barca have their two keepers, Ter Stegen and Szczesny, and that's what they're happy with, then why would he go there? Now, I don't think he'd come to City as the backup, just because he's a first-team player now and he's 24. I'm sure he wants to play first-team football as much as he can. But you never know. You never know. Maybe Pep will talk to him and say, you'll be the keeper in a year or so. So, the next one on the list is the big one. The big one that we're all excited about, I'm sure. Kurt says, Espanyol and Barca are rivals. Okay, so maybe it's a tough one. I mean, it's not impossible for a player to go a rival. Like you think Anthony Gordon was Everton and he would have gone to Liverpool, I think, had that deal, gone through. So it's possible. Big up, bro. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Welcome to the stream. Now, let's talk about Ryan Cherky. For probably since January, people have been telling me about this guy, Ryan Cherky, the Lyon midfielder. He's like a 10, can play on the wing. Allegedly, he's got some mental issues where he's kind of a head case. He's kind of difficult to play around. So I don't know. I don't know if that's true. It could be fake because allegedly there's a release clause in the contract, 20-25 million, which seems crazy cheap for a young French international who's like one of the best players in the French league. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me that it would only be that much money unless he is like a difficult guy to be around. I don't know. But Mike McGrath comes out and says that he's basically on the list. Fabrizio Romano also said he is on the list. We checked with them and said what's going on. There's major rumors that he's definitely leaving the club. He doesn't want to play for Lyon anymore. I think there's an issue with does he have a release clause? Does he not? I don't know. Kurt says, is he any good? This Ryan Cherky. I don't watch French football. Now, I don't watch French football either. I have no way of watching it myself here in the States. It's just not on TV. But I'll say it, YouTube compilations are not the full story, of course, but I have watched a few this morning, and I was pretty impressed. I mean, the guy he's like, I don't know how to describe him. He's techie. He is a throwback footballer. He's got the flicks. He's got the skills. I'm sure on FIFA, he's like a five-star type of player. Skills, weak foot, he's good. Like, we don't have a player like this in the team at the moment, for sure. I mean, we have Doku, but I don't talk about Doku. You guys know how I feel about Doku. I'm not going to go there. I'll pull up his stats here. He's young. Like I said, he's going to be 22 next season. He's French. He's on $75,000 a week. So, I mean, his GNA is good. 30 league games, 19 GNA. Europa League, he got 12 in 12. I mean, that's impressive. Lyon are in a financial mess. Another reason he definitely probably needs to go. They can sell him, cash in for sure. Cherky destroyed the Rags. That is the one game I was able to watch of him this year, and he was absolutely impressive. I'll take Jean Garcia. He's a very good goalie. I watch Spanish football. Arsenal want Jean Garcia. Well, I mean, Arsenal have David Raya. I don't know why they would want him unless he's like a backup. I don't know. I can't have Ondaku. Saw him at Wembley and was near his family. Oh, nice. Wow, that's pretty cool. Daku just makes me go crazy, man. That's like a whole nother video to talk about Daku and everything. But Cherky scouting report here. I mean, guys, look at these green numbers. Assists, 99 percentile. Expected assists, 99. Shot creating action, which is so huge because we lack so much creativity in the City team. It's so frustrating to have the best striker in the world and the guy doesn't get the ball. You have to get him the ball so he can shoot, turn, shoot, score. However it gets done, we have to figure out a way to build around him this summer. Shot creating actions, 99th percentile. He's at 7 per 90 minutes. I mean, that's outstanding. That's incredible. Progressive passes, huge, high. Carries, high. Take-ons, high. Touches in the penalty area, high. Defensive work rate, basically nothing. Now, again, the defensive numbers are skewed for teams that don't really, defend a whole lot. So I don't know. But these numbers are exciting. The compilation I watched is very exciting. And if you look at similar players, I mean, again, there's some really good names here, guys. There's Ousmane Dembele, who's like top 5 in the Ballon d'Or at the moment. Florian Wirtz, who, I mean, we all can admit, we all thought he was the one. He's the second most similar to Florian Wirtz of any other player, according to these stats. De Ketelaere from Atalanta. I've had a bunch of people send me his stuff, say he's really good, we should go for him. Heung-min Son, obviously very good. Lamine Yamal, the number one, maybe the best player in the world, potentially. Michael Olise, a guy that I can't believe we left freaking the Premier League to go to Bayern and we didn't buy him. He was cheap, 50 mil, should have had that one done. Rafa Leao, fantastic player. Savio for City, he's all right this year. Could be better in the future. Vinny Jr., another world-class top 10 player in the world, and Cole Palmer. So, I mean, if you look at these similar players, it's hard to not get excited about Cherky. Mike says he's in top 1% most attacking aspects, better than Wirtz for that. I agree. Numbers don't lie. They're not my numbers. This is FB Ref. They don't make it up. It's not fake news. Do I rate Ryan Aït-Nouri? Yes, absolutely. I don't know if the deal happens. There's also rumors, of course, of Cambiasso, but that's kind of gone quiet. So at the moment, I think that Aït-Nouri is the number one left back target from what I can tell. There's also that Wesley guy who I think is a right back, so maybe we get both of those done. I don't know. Elise was in our academy. I know, another criminal reason that we let him go. Just awful. I don't rate Leao, says Kurt. Well, I mean, Leao's a difficult one because I've seen him a few times and he's been sometimes really, really impressive and sometimes he's like non-existent. When he plays for Portugal, I thought he was really good at the Euros. So he's also a big, kind of stocky guy. He's an interesting one for sure. Assuming we get the deal done, where does Marmoush play? Not keen on him being a winger. Well, it's interesting you say that because we kind of have this no winger system that we've been putting out there over the last maybe month or two. Let me see if I can pull up a lineup builder so we can do that just with these new links and see how it would kind of look. I don't know how it would work in terms of Marmoush. He's not an out and out left winger, He's like an inside forward if you want to get technical. He cuts inside. He's like that kind of player. Let's see here. So I have the lineup builder pulled up for us. Let's just assume Ederson leaves, and we're going to go with this Joan Garcia guy. Right back, I think we can all agree is maybe this Wesley guy from... well, he's not on here, but he's Brazilian, so we'll just put him there. The center back partnership is probably Gvardiol and Diaz. That'd be my best guess at the moment. Shout for Husanov and I guess Akanji as well, because I don't think Akanji's leaving anytime soon. Mike says Marmoush will play off the left and drift inside. I definitely agree with that for sure. Kurt says I want Tino Livramento for the right back. I would take Livramento over this Wesley guy for sure, but I just don't think that's doable. I think Newcastle would want like 80 million, and I don't think City would pay that. He will excel with an attacking left back overlapping, says Matt. Matt, I totally agree with you. I think you are spot on. You have Marmoush there, kind of in this left, but he really operates way inside. He's not like an out-and-out left winger like Leroy Sané would have been way out here on the left, or Grealish way out here. He's way in here more. Aït-Nouri, how do you spell that? There we go. Aït-Nouri at the left back spot. Hopefully we sign Reinders. That is another one. I think that deal gets done probably next week, if we're honest, guys. Reinders seems totally doable. We'll have Rodri, of course, best player in the world. I think they'll probably switch like that. Then we have Haaland up here. Striker position, uncertain on this right wing, but the other midfielder is maybe Cherky. We can just see how that would look. Could also be Morgan Gibbs-White. Like I said, I don't think we get Cherky and Gibbs-White. It's probably an either-or type thing. Newcastle went 80 to 90 for Livramento. Totally agree. That's why I don't think we'll go for it. Like, he's good. He's homegrown. He's Prem-proven. But 90, 80 million, like, it's too much of the budget. We have too many positions that we need to buy, I think, in my opinion. Newcastle also have UCL. Yeah, it would be even tougher. Had they not gotten UCL, maybe it would have been possible, but for me, that one's unlikely. We have the right wing position left to fill. I guess in theory, there's a lot of names out there. There is Rodrigo, who's the Real Madrid right winger. Does he want to play right wing? I don't know. That one's a tough one. I guess you could think maybe it's Foden for now. Could be Oscar Bob as well. But we're kind of hoping that Foden gets back to his best. So maybe this is what the lineup kind of could potentially look like next season. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm thinking this is a good squad. If there's anyone you think we should change, do let me know, of course, and we can look at that. But I think the Aït-Nouri up and down this left-hand side is fantastic because Marmoush can cut inside here and operate kind of right underneath Haaland, while Foden can kind of do the same with Wesley bombing up and down. We saw a lot of Nunez at right back, and I thought Foden was really good, not for a whole long period of time, but right wing Foden with Nunez overlapping, he was good in like February, March, around there. I think it will be both Gibbs-White pushing for the move. It could be both, Mike. It could be. I would just be curious how much it would cost, because we don't have unlimited money. We can't just spend $500 million this summer. If we could, we would have bought Wirtz, Will O'Reilly be the backup left back for next season? I don't know. I feel like Nathan Ake maybe is the backup left back. Vardiol is a backup left back option. And O'Reilly maybe transitions to a midfielder type player, potentially. I don't know. It's a tough one. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ortega leave. I think, without a doubt, Ortega is gone, in my opinion. I think there's no way Ortega is here next year. Unless he's guaranteed he's the starter, which he just won't be. He's just not good enough. You got a lot of depth here as well. Because you do have Nico O'Reilly could be the left back backup here, but I don't know. I feel like O'Reilly's long term is as an 8. Cherky here, you could replace him for Gibbs-White, or maybe both Gibbs-White is here. You got Nico Gonzalez, who's the backup for Rodri. He could play a little bit of 8. You got Oscar Bob, who can play on the right. You got Savinho, who can play on the right. Doku, who technically can play on the right, but seems more of a left winger for Pep. Who's the captain for the starting 11? I think I was in favor of Ruben Diaz being captain, but I have shifted a bit toward Rodri. To be honest, I think Diaz has just had a bit of a poor time this past maybe 18 months or so. So for me, he's fallen down the pecking order a bit, and I'm going with Rodri as the captain. I think it just makes sense. Maybe Haaland could be captain, to be honest. I mean, Haaland seems like a leader from what I understand. So that is possible as well. That is definitely a possibility. Is there a way to add bench player? Bench. Let's do this so we can really look at our depth. I think on the right you have, let's go with Bob. Oscar Bob. Right there. We don't really have a backup striker, to be honest, but that's okay. Where's the bench player? Maybe Echeverri is the bench 10 here. Echeverri, there he is, Echeverri. Diaz, in my opinion, he's been here longer and has been not injured during our stint of failure. Yeah, it's true. Diaz, I mean, I don't think Diaz is a poor choice or anything. Kanji is the backup center back there. Backup left-sided center back is maybe Kusanov. Backup right back, I guess, is like Rico Lewis, maybe. He could potentially leave as well. Another player who could be out the door. Backup left back, I guess, is Nico O'Reilly, maybe. Where's he at? There he is. Actually, you know what? I think Rico Lewis leaves. I think Nunez stays as the backup right back. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I think it's Nunez. That's the backup right back. If Ederson leaves, it will only be to Saudi team. Kurt, 100%. He is gone and going to Saudi, I think. I'm at like 80% on that. Maybe not 100, but I'm at 80%, I think. Backup 6, I think we go with Nico Gonzalez. Right there. Backup 8, I think probably we're looking at Gundogan staying, potentially. I think that's the most likely scenario. And we just don't have a backup 10, which is maybe like a false 9 type scenario where it's either Bob or Foden or Marmouche or Cherokee or whoever. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I think this is a pretty good team. I think we compete for the Premier League with this team. How much does it cost, though? That's the question. You have 25 million here, 30 million here. We're at 55. Another 40 here. We're at 95, if my math is right. Another 60 here, 155. Another, let's just say 30 here, 195. Basically, let's call it 200 million. Let's say 200 million for this. I think that's possible. I can see Rico on a loan, but can't see him getting sold. I think James McAtee is gone. I 100% think McAtee is gone. He's not going to make it here at City, unfortunately. Even more so with our English quotas. That's true. English quotas are going to be huge. You can only have 17 non-homegrown players in the Premier League. And I don't think we're over that with this squad. We could be. I didn't check it, but that's not for me to decide. That's for the club. I wish we had a David Silva regen. You know, Matt, there's unfortunately like no David Silva regens anymore. They just don't exist. There are just not many players quite like him. Hopefully Bernardo and Gundo leave. Too old now, says Kurt. I think one of them will leave. I don't think both. There's also Kovacic, who I think we could sell for a bit of maybe some cash, some influx, maybe. We don't know how much we'll earn from sales. That's true. We have no idea how much we'll earn from sales. But I mean, I don't know. I think this squad is good enough to win the league, compete for Champions League. I think the depth is good. And maybe the only questionable area is right back. You know, maybe that's not Wesley, maybe it's someone else. But I don't know. I like this squad. I think it's good enough to compete. Yeah, I think that's most of the transfer rumors that I've at least seen. If there's any more you guys want to talk about, of course, I'm happy to look at it. You got other links like Morgan Gibbs-White. We've seen Rodrigo links a bit. Now, those have not been a whole bunch yet. Maybe we do get Rodrigo and we change that up a bit. But I don't know. I feel pretty confident with that team looking like we can compete for the league. And I hope that's what we're going back to. I think we give Pep another season to get things back on track. And just I think we've got to back Pep. I think the overreaction is a little bit heavy from some people on Twitter saying he should go. There's other Juventus fullback being linked, not Cambiasso. Yeah, it's like Cavana or something. There was one link, and then that kind of died, so not sure on that. Kurt says, I've never seen this Wesley guy play. Me neither, Kurt. Brazilian right back, but if we're spending 35 to 40 on him, surely he's good. Surely we're not doing something wild where we're doing that, you know. I'd love to see Rodrigo being subbed on, but on our side this time. Yes, we could get rid of the Rodrigo issues from the past where, you know, he scored 2 goals in 2 minutes to knock us out of the Champions League. Would be one of the worst times of being a City fan, for sure. One of the worst. Anyway, yeah, that's all for today. Do appreciate it. We had a bunch of people in here, so do smash the like button for me. Help me out. We're on the goal for 150 subs. We may have hit it. I'm not sure at the moment, but 150 subs is the goal. Always pushing to get that. And we're at 152 now. So thank you guys. I really appreciate that. 152 subs. That's awesome. I've started this channel in December. So 150 subs in a couple of months is awesome. Thank you guys. Remember, we looked stupid when we paid huge money for KDB. Another true point. You never know. We could always get these dudes. Rodrigo is how much? 80. Kurt, I've seen between 80 and 100 around there. Too soon trauma. Rodrigo, this is Matt. Guys, that was honestly. I was in Canada with my my fiance at the time. Now my wife. I was watching with her, and I was a mess. I was a mess. One of the worst times ever. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow. As soon as there's more transfer news, of course, I'll go live again if I can. Most of the time, I go live in the evenings. At least for me in the U.S. because I do work. Today I'm off, so that's why I went live a little earlier. But thank you guys. Appreciate it for 150 subs. Do check out TikTok as well. I have that where I post some shorts, and I got like 1,200 on there. So if you're interested in shorts, check out my TikTok. Link in description. Thank you guys.